Hey, welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a video on this. I've had some requests to do an update on some of the stuff that we've done. The last video I talked about and showed some of the plumbing that I've done, some electrical that I ran, but I've since completed the majority of that. So I figured I'd go through and show you where we're at. Here
It's
we
a
go.
bit bright outside, so sorry for the lighting, but figured we start at the back of the trailer and work our way forward. So one thing we do, we put pool noodles here on the cables for the deck and the ramp here, so as kids are running around camp, they don't decapitate themselves. It's almost happened a couple of times, so figured we'd try to prevent that from happening. So as we're walking in here, and again, some of you may have seen the previous videos I've done, but starting at the back, so we've got beds. So we've got a bed here, and this is newly built cabinets area. Still got to do like cabinet doors and everything. So as you go through, there's still quite a bit of finishing and finish work I need to do on the trailer, but I'm kind of show the progress so far. So got a bed here, and then that's for the kids. That's mine and my wife's bed. I'll kind of show you a video of how that folds down. If I rotate here to this side, we got this bed. Nice thing about this is when those beds fold down, they meet in the middle, right where that spare tire's at. They meet in the middle and make one giant bed across the floor. It's ground level, so I don't have to worry about the kids falling out of bed, which is nice. But so that's the bedding we have set up. I did do that same shelving on each side, so we'll put bedding up, up high here, clothes, go on those, and I'll have doors on everything. But that's where we store clothes. I'll come back to the bed and kind of show you how that works here in a minute. But we've got our heater here set up, and then I built these cabinets kind of from scratch. Well, at least the doors, and then the cabinets themselves are actually crates, like little arts and crafts crates from Joann's or Michael's or any of your like local fabric stores or arts and crafts stores. They work really well. They're super light, they're strong, they hold plenty of weight. I just put cabinet doors on them with magnets, so they close there. So I've got those about the top, then all the way at the front, right by the front door, and I'll show you the kitchen here in a minute. So we've got our ventless heater here. It's marketed as ventless, but we still run a vent up high. We've got another vent up in the front corner, and then one down in the back corner here, so we have plenty of airflow through, and my carbon monoxide detector. Then one thing I did is I built this deflector here. It's not the prettiest thing, but it works for right now, because the heat would come from the heater and it would get everything up here so hot. So we built this deflector, and you can see those two fans. Those fans are on a 12-volt switch, and what it does, it blows the heat out into the bedding area and deflects that really that heat coming up, and so it does a really good job there. Then we've got curtains on this rod that come all the way out, and then they kind of block off the bedding area back where I'm standing, keeps it warm. We don't have to worry so much about heating it there. We do pull our RZR in here. We've got a 2019 4-seat Turbo S. You can see the tracks on the ground there, so the RZR will come up here. It pulls up and stops just a few inches before the kitchen cabinet here, so it'll stop about right there, and then obviously it can go all the way back. Behind there we put our kids' 4-wheelers and 3-wheelers and motorcycles back there. And so that's kind of where we put all the storage as far as the machines go and when we're actually moving. I just recently installed 2 windows, so they're on each side here. Get a nice little cross breeze coming through. They're 12 by 18 windows. In hindsight, I'd probably do a little bit bigger window, probably a 12 by 24, just give it a little extra airflow. But it works, we're happy with it, looks good from the outside, and I'll kind of show you some pictures and some video there in a minute. So moving kind of in the kitchen area, so we just got this little, it's a Costco table, and I bought some hinges off of Amazon. So let me kind of show you how that works. So it's pretty simple. All you do, you can grab the bottom of the table, pull up, locks into place. It's not super sturdy. I mean, you can put a little bit of weight on, but not much. So you just gotta be careful with kids as they're leaning on it and eating. But the hinges are really cool. They each have little tabs underneath, and you're gonna hit the little button on each side. It folds down. As far as the bed goes for my wife and I, we stay here as I mentioned. So this is just Murphy bed, folds down. Built it out of 2x4s and 2x6s. There's your latch there. The latch over here. It's just pull out of the way. It's hinged here. One person can do it's pretty nice, so you just pull it, they come all the way down. Set up. Now you're ready to go. And super simple. simple to go back up. Just lift. Bottom piece hinges. One latch. Latch, and that's how the beds work. And then the two kids' beds, they work. Okay, so I'm gonna take you to the kitchen area a little bit. One thing that we have that we do like, and it is running right now, is we got a little air conditioner, roof mount to 13,500 BTU air conditioner. Worked really good. Happy with that. Moving on to the kitchen. So I built most of this. I built the counters and stuff from scratch, from 2x2s and 1x2s. Framed that. Those are the same crates that I was talking about before. I did make all the cabinet doors from scratch though. They're just MDF and then printed wood on the back. So as far as the kitchen goes, we do have running water. If you see my other videos, I showed how I did all my plumbing. Got storage and stuff underneath there, but we got a fresh water tank, and that's our gray tank. So we have a full shower on the back side of this wall. I'll show you here in a minute. But I wanted the tanks inside and I have to deal with the tanks underneath, just because this trailer wasn't necessarily built for that. And we go quite a few areas where it's uneven terrain. The last thing I want to do is rip that tank off, or out from the bottom of the trailer. So here I'm gonna do a cutting board that slides out of there. Haven't done that yet, but I've got nice deep storage cabinets go all the way back. Lots of storage in there, and then this one is just for a visual for a water tank, and store a few things on top of the water tank back there, and have access to my pumps and everything back there. But most part that's just more of a visual. These cabinets here, silverware, I'm still working on the faces for them, but they slide out, super simple. I've got those three, and I still have to build the very bottom one. It's coming along. So yeah, that's kind of the kitchen area. Got the microwave, little toaster there, and then we did just like a dorm style fridge and freezer. A couple of reasons. We thought about going propane and 12 volt, and we weren't sure what we wanted to do, but if that ever goes out, it's a $150 fridge instead of a $600 or $800 RV style fridge, and it works great for what we've got. So let's take a look at the bathroom. Again, as I mentioned, I got a lot of finish work to do, a lot of trim, a lot of painting, but still working on the complete framing and all the work up here. But so door comes open. We put this latch in here just because it moves a lot, especially if we're not exactly even. Just mounted this mirror the other day. So we walk in. So we got I did do a full-size shower. And so I pull this back here. We got a shower. I just put that vent in last night. It does have power. The Oxygenic shower head that everybody recommended. I highly recommend that. So a pretty simple shower. Now the gray tank I was talking about that I showed you underneath the kitchen sink is directly below this. So what I did is I put that tank, might be hard to see, I put that tank directly below the shower, and it drains right into that. I cut a hole and it drains directly down into the gray tank. And then I've got a bunch of crap stored up here. But the gray tank is essentially goes right out of the ground there and down. I haven't put all my plumbing down there yet, but it just right now it just drains in the ground, or drains out onto the ground. But pretty soon I'll have a stop. I'll have a stop for that. Just simple RV toilet. Didn't want to have to deal with the black tank. I've done that before. And for what we do, most places we go, they do have restrooms, so that's for the wife and kids in the middle of the night if they need to end up using it. We have a ventless on-demand propane hot water heater. Again, it's marketed as ventless, but just to be safe, that's one of the reasons why I put that vent up there above the shower. That helps pull the condensation out and any fumes that might cause when you're showering. So that way, kind of the safety factor of that as well. But that is kind of the bathroom setup. Plumbing is pretty much set. Everything's run. The sink and the showers run through the hot water heater. So yeah, electrical. So what we've got electrical wise is I have three. So I've got a 12 volt system with 2 batteries. Those are honestly just the simple, cheap Harbor Freight AGM batteries. I believe they're only 25 amp hour, maybe 75 amp hour, but they're pretty small. But we've been on 2 trips with them and they work fantastic. I just installed a solar panel system. It's the Rich Solar 100 watt kit, and it's on there right now, and you see it's pulling
sunny outside, but it's pulling plenty of power, and it's kept my batteries charged. No problem at all. So as far as the 12 volt system goes, so we've got the solar coming in to charge them. So obviously we've got that. I do have an auxiliary charger that I'll plug in, that I was using before I had solar set up. I plugged that in, plug on the batteries, so my generator was running and I could charge my batteries. And then 12 volt is everything's controlled through that switch panel. I'll show you that real quick, or we're still on 12 volt. So this one I've got a quick disconnect, so I just shut off power to everything, which is nice. But right now it kind of shows you I've got 13.6 volts. And as far as power, this is lights. This one's unused right now. This is the bathroom. This is the kitchen charging. This is the small fans above the heater. And then this is the water pump. I'm not gonna hit that because it's kind of cycling the other day. But now, so as we go in the bathroom, as far as power, we've got power here. And then I've got power up to the fan. If I hit that black switch, obviously it turns the fan on. So that's gonna be power for that. And then I've got 2 auxiliary lights on the outside of the trailer that I'm hooking up at night that are through the same system as well. That's the bathroom one. The lights is this first one here. So I wanted access for our kids as they walk in the trailer. They're still kind of small, so I wanted them to be able to turn the lights on. But so lights in the ceiling. Got 3 there. One back there, kind of hard to see in the daylight. And then also this switch. So this switch controls those. And then I powered these on that same line. That way we can kind of, run lights individually as we're going. So that's our lighting system. There's lightning bolt one here, showing you that one. Has everything on the 12 volt in the kitchen. So these USBs I bought off Amazon, they work pretty good. It's nice because they've got an on-off switch. Sorry, I'm gonna switch my camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. So they've got an on-off switch. So you turn them on, then it's going to show your voltage. Then it's got 2 USBs. You can charge phones, tablets, whatever you want there, and then shut them off individually. So I've got one on this side. Then I've got, let it turn off. Then I've got one over here. Same thing, it's closer to our bed, so we can charge our phones at night if I leave those batteries running. So that is the charging. I also have, sorry, on the same system, I've got this light above the sink as well. So that's kind of kitchen area. And then last one are these little fans. Those are the fans I told you about that go over the heater. And so these are nice because, as you hear, they've got different settings, got adjustability side to side and up and down. So we can kind of, adjust in there. So that runs those fans. And then I also put some lights. Might be hard to see and start to be super bright. But I put some lights on the deck, or above the deck, up here. I can barely see them. But up here, just some LEDs, so as I'm pulling the razor out at night, I can see what I'm doing there. And those are controlled by this switch here. But that's that bank of light, or that bank of power. And then that last one on the far left, this one is just for the water pump. I want that on its own switch, so I don't have to deal with anything else. And if it goes wrong, it's pretty easy to access. All my electrical I ran in conduit, or wall, I don't know if you want to call it conduit or not, but so all my power I ran in that. That way I have access to it. So if I have any issues, I have really easy access to try and pull that apart, or I can help diagnose that. But that's my 12 volt setup. Now, part of that 12 volt setup is I have this Energizer 2000 watt inverter. So if I want to run my fridge or any of my outlets off of my batteries, I just got to simply turn this thing on. Kind of give you a voltage reading too. My fridge just kicked on. And then that'll run all of my 120, all my 120 or 110 stuff in the wall. So that is the 12 volt system. The 110, 115, 120, whatever we're gonna call it, that system, everything's ran through a breaker. So what I did here is outside, I'll show you, but outside I've got a 30 amp RV Connect that I run off my generator or plug into my house. I've got 2 20 amp breakers here. One's for accessories, which all my wall switches, and one's just strictly for the air conditioner. And so I ran everything on the bottom of this, and you see here, this one up on top. Let me change my camera angle here. This one up top is the air conditioner. It's on its own 20 amp, and then these down here See, I put accessories on the wall, but that's where I would unplug this if I'm switching from battery to shore power, and just plug in there, and that's gonna run all my outlets on the wall. As far as outlets, I try to put a ton everywhere just so it's easy. So I've got 2 here. Obviously that one's just for the air conditioner. I've got 1 here. That's what I run the fridge off of, and I've got 1 outside, so I can run, air compressors or lights or whatever I want outside. And this essentially continues to go around the trailer. So got 1 right outside this door here, right inside this door. 1 just past the heater. And so again, I've got all my wiring in this conduit, so it's easy to access. It runs up and everything runs across. And then I ran that electrical line up above here. Then it drops down. I've got 1 there. It runs behind the beds into here, and then feeds that one on the wall there, and then there's 1 underneath the microwave. That's kind of the electrical setup. What I'm about to show you is this electrical connection I was talking about out here. So this is just a 30 amp connector there. So I'll run my generator directly to that, and then I just connected there. Then I've got those lights I was telling you about on the front of the trailer that help me see at night when we're unhooking the trailer from the truck, and once a night whenever we get to them. If there's anybody interested in my diagrams, I've got all sorts of stuff, electrical, plumbing. I've got all sorts of things I can send pictures of. So I'm trying to explain. So again, if you're interested, leave me a comment or hit me up either on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching this, and I can send you that information. The gist of it, sorry it's a bit long-winded, there's a lot to cover. If you're wanting details on something more specific, let me know. I can definitely try and get you some more details. I really enjoy doing this stuff. I've had a lot of help from other videos and stuff people put together. So again, if you have any questions or concerns or comments, leave them below, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, and hit me up if you have any questions. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.